All right, we'd like to welcome everyone and call to order the regular meeting of the West Valley City Council. It is October 8th, 2024, and we're beginning our meeting at 6:37 p.m. in the council chambers of West Valley City Hall. We have all members of the council present. Councilman Christensen is online with us. At the dais, we have Councilman Fitzsimmonu, Councilman Whetstone, Councilman Harmon, Councilman Hune, myself, Councilman Norfelt. We're also joined at the dais with our city manager, Mr. Peely, and our city recorder, Ms. Kamick. And this evening's opening ceremony will be given to us by Councilman Fitzsimmonu.
Thank you, Mayor. Before our Pledge of Allegiance, I've invited a friend of West Valley, who's no stranger to a lot of us, but invited Frank Bedoya, who's the director for the Father and Families Coalition, based here in West Valley, as well as does a lot of work with Granite School Districts, to introduce the great work that they're doing here in the community. Go ahead, Frank. I'll invite you up to the mic. Thank you.
Jacob, yeah, thanks for having me here. Actually talk about the work that we're doing here in the community. A little bit of the background. I've been working in social services for, I think, over 25 years and working with youth mainly. But one of the things that I actually have found, and when I was working with youth, that these kids, come from broken homes. And so my role in the community is to make sure that I provide these programs and connect these kids to make sure that they have the support system that they have. And one thing that I found when I was working with these kids is that they've all lived in a single household, home. And one of the things that I actually was able to put together was to actually do to connect the fathers, making sure they are involved in a child's development as well. So one of the things that I actually learned when I used to work at an early childhood program, when I used to work for Head Start, what I found, I think like 80% of all these children were raised in a single household. So I decided to put together a fatherhood program. At that time, it was about 15, 20 years ago. And what happened with that program, actually, we were already worked with about 500 fathers throughout the Salt Lake County, Tooele County as well. And I finally figured out that, the issue that we face, that kids are end up in the system or in prison, is because 80–90% of these individuals could come from single households. When I went back to school and worked on my master's, my actual research was absence of fatherhood. And I did find that a lot of these individuals in the system ended up with 89% of single household. So I was able to put together a nonprofit organization that actually would focus on helping these fathers to understand that they have the right, they need to actually be connected, and a child has the right to actually be raised with a father and a mother as well. So now that I do in the communities, I work with all these young fathers and older fathers, or any fathers that need help, to actually connect them. It's called the Nurturing Fathers Evidence-Based Program. It's 10 weeks, and we actually work with them, and we transform their lives to better understand how to actually better themselves, know who they are as individuals, as a man, because they are who they are because of how they were parented at a young age. And also being able to actually connect with their child and learn how to co-parent as well. The biggest thing that they could do in the community is know how to co-parent as well. And we actually serve every year about 50+ fathers in the community. And then the other program that we actually are working now, rather than waiting for these young boys to become fathers, we actually work with, we actually created a program called Pathways to Manhood, which we now work with young boys, is making sure they understand what healthy relationship is, consent, and dating violence as well. So we're doing all this kind of work in the community. Actually, we're housed in West Valley, right in the corner on Redwood Road, and we have an office there. We've actually been functioning for about 12 years in the community. And with the help of the state with 3-4 grants, we are able to provide a lot of these services in the community. We are running our program at capacity. We're actually going out and actually doing virtual sessions from people from Moab, Washington County, and actually doing sessions on Pathways to Manhood in Weber County. So the need's there, and actually we want to do more. And I was able actually to get this new grant. This last year's a rape prevention grant, and it actually is to actually engage males in the community to help us understand, to become allies in prevention of rape. So that's one thing that's going to be coming, in the next few weeks. I'm going to be putting together with my team. So I'd just like to thank you guys for coming, having me come and talk about what we're doing in the community. And definitely, hopefully in the future, I could come here and talk about the pledge I'm going to be putting together, and hope I get individuals such as yourselves to sign the pledge of becoming allies on rape prevention in the community and involving more males in that movement. Okay, so thank you guys for having me, and I thank you for your time, Jacob, for inviting me.
Thank you,
Thank you
Frank.
so much.
Yep.
Thanks for the work you do. And if you'll rise with me and recite the Pledge of Allegiance.
Okay, thank you. We'll now move to our minutes from September 24th, 2024, and I'll turn those minutes to the council for discussion or a motion.
I'll move to approve those minutes.
Second.
Thank you. I have a motion and a second. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, seeing none, those pass unanimously. We will now go to our awards and ceremonies. Tonight, we're going to recognize Brett Fuller for his years of service as a planning commission commissioner or planning commissioner. We'd like to recognize Brent for his years of service as a planning commissioner. Brett served on the planning commission since 1992. And I'd like to invite Mr. Pastrick up to say a few words.
Thank you, Mayor. And if I might, I'd like to invite Brent up to come with or stand with me. I'll try not to embarrass him too much. Brent. Thanks, Brent. So as you stated, Mayor, Brent served on the commission since 1992. So that's 32 years of service. So I did some quick math. If you look at how many meetings we have every year, Brent has attended well over 1,000 planning commission meetings. So think about that for a minute. His experience really was invaluable on the planning commission. I mean, having that term of service allowed him to really be a mentor and a coach to other commissioners as they came on, and really helped with projects that oftentimes would come back to us and he would remember from 10, 15 years ago, projects in the past. So that experience was really helpful. Just to think about that time of service, since 92, when you look at all the zone changes and subdivisions and all that came before the Planning Commission, the city grew by 15,000 homes and about 50,000 people during that time period. So Brent helped oversee a lot of the change in the city and a lot of positive change in the city. So I personally wanted to thank him for his experience, but also just the perspective he brought to the commission as just a long-term resident. He's also a contractor, so as a contractor, that's really valuable experience to have on the commission, and just as a good person. And so, again, on behalf of our department, I'd like to thank him for his years of service. We have a small gift and a thank you for his service. So thank you, Brent. Appreciate it. And I know the mayor has the gift as well.
Stay up here.
You're not off the hook yet. You're not off the hook yet.
Yeah, you might as well just stay here. So I'm going to get emotional because I served with Brent for 10 years on the planning commission. I started in 97, so he had 5 years of experience and was really a good mentor. And I appreciated his insight when I started on that commission. And him and Harold have been here forever. So Harold can't leave now that you've gone. But we really appreciate you. And I personally appreciate your service. So do you have anything you would like to say?
No.
No? You don't have to.
Yeah, about 71 years ago when I was 3, we moved into the area and been here since then. Changed houses a couple times, but always been in West Valley. Yeah, when we first moved here, we lived on a little dead-end street that was known for a short time as Bangor Lane. And one of the Bangor sons that just recently got married would keep on cutting through our property to go home. And that guy became later our governor. And but that's the way we got around at that time. You would cut through fields of any kind, sugar beets or asphalt or wheat or whatever that was being planted there. So it's quite open, and wasn't until Granger Hunter started getting moving and getting sewer and water to everywhere that the subdivision started popping up everywhere. Of course, it changed a lot since that time. And I mean, where we're standing now used to be the Merc. It was a store that sold clothing and stuff. And down this way, we had other different ones all along Market Street. But yeah, it's changed quite a bit. We're now, as you know, the second largest city in the state. And from what we used to be just a sleepy little community. Sometimes you'd like to go back to that. But there's a lot of good people then, and there's a lot of good people now. And so it's been great to serve for that length of time, and I enjoyed it all.
Thank you. So will you come shake everyone's hand and then we'll have pictures? So we also have a certificate to give you, and then I don't know if you want him to hold this in the picture, a nice little plaque. So we'll take it out and let you hold that. Yeah. Try not to break it.
One, two.
That's right. Here, let me put it back in here and I'll give you the box. All right. We'll now move on to our public comment. Comment period is limited to 30 minutes. Any person wishing to comment shall limit their comments to 3 minutes each. Upon recognition by the mayor, you will approach the microphone. If you have not signed up, please give us your name and address, otherwise just your name. All comments shall be directed to the mayor. No person addressing the city council during comment period shall be allowed to comment more than once. Comments shall be limited to city matters, city business, and matters within the purview of the city council. Speakers should not expect any debate with the mayor, council, or staff. The mayor, council, and staff may respond after the comment period has concluded. Speakers shall refrain from personal attacks against fellow citizens, city staff, or members of the council. So, speaker number 1.
It could be number 1 tonight, Jim Visock. First, in the study meeting, we had a presentation of the USU Wellbeing Survey. I'm very active in the city. I read my water bill information. I'm hooked up with all the websites that the city does. I knew nothing about it. Maybe suggestion next year with all our city events, somehow have a QR code. So when an event happens, people can scan it and they can do the survey there. Connect it with my hometown when we do projects and stuff. Once again, bilingual residents, we're helping different families get more input from them and showing all the things that we're doing in the city. But there's got to be a way that this can be put out and we can use the resources that we have and get it out there more. the on-street parking, you're talking about that. There is one thing that other cities are doing that also could be considered is no parking across from a driveway. Now, in a lot of streets, that would almost eliminate the parking. Kearns uses it. Unfortunately, that's how I know they use it because I was tagged one time and I never heard of it. So it is a unified thing. It might be something to check to see how many other cities do it, but that could be another option. Let's see. I gotta read my note. Okay, and then mayor or one of the other ones brought up, I was like, use a similar formula like the speed bump thing for the parking where more neighbors had to be involved. But I do like that we're at least doing an effort. And then the other thing is I wanted to recognize a rebranding of a business from West Valley City that the mayor and I went to, Valley Glass. They already work with the city. They put the police, put the windows back in the police cars, broken windows in our city cars. This is the company that's 16 employees in West Valley City. And another one that it's a rebranding, but they wanted to stay in West Valley City. They're a small company, but it was great to see them come here in West Valley City, redevelopment, older business. And that's what we need. That's what makes West Valley City different. And that's what, helps us is our businesses. And so we need to recognize them. So that's it.
Okay, thank you. Speaker 2.
Well, I bet you guys wish I'd move. Mike Markham. Couple of things. We've had 2 weeks. Has there been any thought put into a gate at the walkway coming out of the back of Valley Junior High? We're still having kids filter through there when they should be in school. I think a kid ought to get one chance to get an education. They blow it, then it's tough for them. Another thing you're talking, parking. I think that's an issue we'll never solve. It's going to be an issue forever until we get people that care. But if you've got, using Steve Pastrick's numbers, if you've got 42 feet in front of your house, you have parking for 2 cars. That's all you get. You get what you can fit in front of your house. I live in a cul-de-sac and I may be able to get a motorcycle to park in front of my house. So we need to toughen up on some of this stuff, some of this boarding house stuff. I don't know how you can do it, but the ones in my neighborhood, that is one house away from me, and the other one is up the street. Hate to sound like a bigot, but it's all Hispanics that's moving all their buddies in. They're not related. They're all different people. Right now I have one we've called on multiple times. They're doing some kind of remodeling in the basement because everything they've ripped out of the basement is thrown out on their front lawn. So I need to turn that in. I don't know that there's going to be an answer, but with our parking problem, I don't think we need to buy a new street sweeper because the sweepers can't get to the gutters, because we're lined up with cars. You can see time and time again the street sweeper marks going around these cars and around these cars because there's always somebody there and they don't care. They're here. Another thing I'd like to mention, have we ever done an audit on the vehicles that West Valley City owns and needs? Because out here in this parking lot with some West Valley vehicles that never move, there's always at least 20 of them parked out there in different spots and around. I've drove through a couple of times and counted them. So I know that's one day there was 25 of them parked out there. So, do we need all these cars? If we got cars sitting doing nothing, do we need a Tesla sitting out back, never moving and doing anything? Can that be sold off? Can we bring some money into the city by selling off some of this excess material? And I don't mean to a company that's going to give us nothing for it. Thanks.
Thank you. Was there anyone else that didn't have a chance to sign up that would like to speak? Okay. We will now move on to our public hearings. We have our reopening of our 24-25 budget. This is the first of our quarterly budget openings for 24-25 fiscal year. Are there any comments or questions from the council before I open the public comment? Seeing none, we will open the public comment for this hearing. Name, please.
Jim Visock. Once again, I want to commend Jim and his staff, the finance director. And the simple reading of the way he's put together the report, it's very, very long this time, but it's a lot of it's rollovers and it's easy to explain to somebody. Because when they ask, well, why are they opening up? What is all this stuff? Well, it's all stuff from the past. It says, it's CBG money going here, or it's fire engine money or ambulance money. It's so easy to explain the way it is in the last, I believe it's 5 years, how it's changed from a report that just had numbers to a very detailed report. And I will continue to do it as long as he keeps putting out that good report. I'll keep praising him and his staff. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Is there anyone else that wishes to speak? Okay, seeing none, we will now close the public hearing and turn the time over to the council for discussion or a motion.
I move for approval of ordinance 24-41.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic?
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
Councilman Whitstone,
Yes.
Councilman Harmon,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We have two items on the consent agenda this evening. The first would authorize the city to enter into a training agreement with our paramedics and Lone Peak Hospital Incorporated and Northern Utah Healthcare Corp. And then the second item is the purchase of garbage cans from Waste Quip with an amount of $83,660. Turn those to the council for discussion and a motion.
Motion to approve the two items of the consent agenda.
Second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic?
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Aye.
Councilman Harmon,
Yes.
Councilman Whitstone,
Yes.
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
And Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We now go to a new item of business. We have one item, and this is for the execution of a development agreement with CCWV LLC for property at 3076 South Decker Lake Drive. Turn that to the council for discussion or a motion.
Seems a little like deja vu, but
Yes.
I'll make a motion to approve ordinance 24-144.
Second.
Thank you. We have a motion and a second. Ms. Kamic?
Councilman Fitzie Umanu.
Aye.
Councilman Whitstone,
Yes.
Councilman Harmon,
Yes.
Councilman Hune,
Yes.
Councilman Christensen,
Yes.
Councilman Nordfelt,
Yes.
and Mayor Ling.
Yes.
Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you. We do not have a need for a closed session tonight, so we just have one more motion.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor, please say aye.
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 We stand adjourned. Thank you so much for coming out.